You open your eyes. The very first thing that hits you is the sharp scent of industrial floor wax and fresh chalk dust. Then, a metal locker slams shut. You are standing in a bustling hallway, bathed in the warm, incredibly dusty light of an autumn morning in 1955, entirely surrounded by the noise of adolescence. Everything feels incredibly solid. Girls hurry past in thick wool skirts and crisp blouses, while boys lean against the walls in cuffed denim. There are no glowing screens. Instead, the air is filled with the rustle of actual paper, the dull thud of thick textbooks, and the comforting hum of face-to-face conversations drifting down the hall. It feels remarkably different. The morning bell rings, a loud, physical brass vibration that shudders right through the tiled floor beneath your shoes. You gather your things. Your textbooks are remarkably dense, bound in thick cloth that smells faintly of old library shelves, dried ink, and thousands of pages turned by countless students before you. They weigh you down, but it is a comforting weight, a tangible physical reminder of exactly where you are supposed to be today. You slowly walk into class. The classroom is a sea of rigid wooden desks with solid cast iron frames bolted firmly to the aging wooden floorboards. You just sit and listen. Dust motes dance slowly in the bright sunlight pouring through the tall, open glass windows, casting long, dramatic shadows across the dusty blackboard at the front of the room. It is deeply grounding. There is only the rhythmic, deliberate scratch of a fountain pen moving steadily across thick, heavily lined notebook paper. You are entirely here. There is no desperate rush to check notifications, because there is simply nowhere else you are expected to be, and no one else trying to demand your fractured attention. When the bell finally dismisses the day, a collective, electric energy immediately sweeps through the crowded, locker-lined school corridors. You step out into the sun. The autumn breeze carries the nostalgic scent of burning leaves, perfectly mixed with the rich exhaust of massive steel cars rolling slowly down the newly paved suburban avenue. The weekend has arrived. You walk with your friends down Main Street toward the local diner, the unquestioned center of your teenage universe. This is the place. You push the heavy glass door open, and a glorious wave of warm air immediately washes over your cold face, smelling strongly of fried butter and sweet syrup. Laughing, someone calls your name. You slide into a beautifully bright red vinyl booth in the very back of the crowded, bustling downtown restaurant. It takes real faith. Without group chats or digital messages, you simply show up at the diner at the end of the week and trust that your people will eventually arrive to meet you. This is how plans are made. The jukebox in the corner glows with neon pinks and greens, spinning a familiar, slow doo-wop vinyl record. Life moves at a different rhythm. A waitress in a crisp white apron sets down a tall, frosted glass of cherry vanilla cola on the diner table, leaving a ring of water on the laminate. Condensation drips down the sides. You take a sip, and the sharp carbonation bites perfectly against the sweet, thick, wonderfully rich vanilla cream. You are perfectly content. You are not constantly looking past this exact moment to see what might be happening somewhere else in the world, because the entire world is sitting at this table. The year 1955 is an era of immense, undeniable post-war optimism stretching across the entire, rapidly growing country. You can literally feel it. It hums in the bright advertisements on the diner walls and the shiny chrome bumpers of the polished Chevrolets parked neatly in a row just outside the front window. The world feels wonderfully vast, yet it remains beautifully contained within the familiar, walkable borders of this quiet, deeply connected little suburban town. It is not a perfect time, but for a teenager sitting in this booth, the future stretches out like a freshly paved, endless modern highway, offering nothing but the pure promise of absolute freedom ahead. Everything seems quietly possible. Being a teenager is now an entire culture of its own, complete with its own music and sacred local spaces. You own the evening. As the sun begins to set, the yellow streetlights flicker on just outside the large, slightly fogged diner window, casting a warm glow over the busy street outside. The diner grows noticeably louder. Whispering this, there is a profound sense of safety in this crowded, noisy, brightly lit room full of familiar faces. Nobody is distracted. When they talk to you, they look you directly in the eyes with an absolute, unwavering kind of pure focus that is becoming increasingly impossible to find in modern times. It is remarkably rare. You listen to the clinking of thick ceramic coffee mugs and the steady, comforting murmur of local town gossip. It feels incredibly human. You realize this is what we actually miss when we feel deeply nostalgic for a time we never even lived through, reading old magazines and watching fading cinematic films. We miss each other. We miss the unbroken, unfragmented attention of the people we care about, long before the world became a constant digital interruption. That presence is a gift. The jukebox clicks, and a slow song begins to play softly in the background of the warm, crowded diner. You take one last bite. Outside, the evening air is growing genuinely cold, but inside, this little corner booth remains a sturdy, impenetrable fortress of profound warmth, shared secrets, and endless teenage laughter. Sighs. It is hard to leave. The past may be gone, but the deep, beautiful feeling of it never entirely leaves us when we pause to look back over our shoulder into the distant dark. History survives in small rituals. If this quiet corner of the past still feels alive to you, there is always another doorway waiting right here. Stay a little longer. We will keep opening these beautifully nostalgic doors together, stepping back through time, memory by fading memory, searching for the simple comforts of a home we left far behind. It is a genuine question. Do you think evenings like this felt richer because life moved slower? Or because people simply learned to notice more? I wonder, would you trade today's constant convenience for one single night in a world exactly like this, if it meant feeling truly, completely, and undeniably present with the people around you? Think about it.